At the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, Peter Parker had Doctor Strange cast a spell to have everyone in the world forget who Peter Parker was, including his best friend Ned and girlfriend MJ. Out of fear for their safety, Peter decides not to remind them of who he is. Years later, we see Peter fully devote himself to being Spider-Man, abandoning his social life, thereby feeling an increasing sense of loneliness. A threat arrives in the form of a being who can control the bodies of others and even enter their minds. Between this, Peter mutating further, and coming across MJ and Ned again, what is he to do? Let me start this review off by saying without a shred of doubt that Spider-Man Brand New Day is by far the best Tom Holland Spider-Man film. I never disliked the others he has been in, but upon rewatching them, there is kind of a safe simplicity to all three. Sure, MJ and Peter had great chemistry, and some of the villains were cool, but I never felt like we got the Spider-Man that I always pictured when either reading the comics or watching the Tobey Maguire and even the Andrew Garfield films. Thankfully, Brand New Day fixes a lot of these issues. We return to the basics of Spider-Man being a street-level vigilante. He makes all his own stuff. He goes through turmoil both as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and on and on and on. The fights are even more memorable here. Spider-Man vs. Scorpion, Spider-Man vs. Hulk, and Spider-Man vs. the Hand, a group of ninjas. They all remained in my mind as I walked out of the theater. The movie tackles themes of loneliness and what it means to be a man or monster. The loneliness goes into characters like Peter, Punisher, and even the villain a little. The man versus monster theme is perfectly paralleled with Spider-Man and Hulk. This is a very smart superhero film. I'd argue it's on par writing-wise with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Punisher is even handled well. I love John Bernthal as this character in the Marvel TV shows, so I was very worried how an R-rated character would adapt to this PG-13 Disney-produced comic book film. But no, he fits very well. There are some comedic bits, but they don't feel too out of place with who this character is. I love the POV shots of Peter web swinging through New York. I love the impressive fight choreography where Spider-Man is running, not crawling, on the walls fighting the ninjas. I love how the additional Marvel cameos actually serve a purpose to the story and aren't just there to be there. And I love how it's not a very jokey joke typical MCU film. Hot damn, I just love this movie. I know I may be a little biased as Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character, and I know it's early to tell, but I do believe this is very close to being even better than Spider-Man 2 as the best live-action Spider-Man film. I'm not sure if it is for certain, but time will certainly tell. Spider-Man Brand New Day is a more mature look at the MCU iteration of Spider-Man, with dramatic themes of loneliness, somber but also entertaining acting from our leads, great action set pieces, and directed by a man who has now brought me two of my recent favorite MCU films, this and Shang-Chi Legend of the Ten Rings. Yep, this is Destin Daniel Cretton behind the director's chair. I hope I said his name correctly, and he has delivered what could very well be the best live-action Spider-Man film. If you don't believe me, wall crawl your way to a theater to go to a full-price viewing of Spider-Man Brand New Day and see for yourself.